What's up, guys? It's Gothic, aka Sam, and today we are continuing on our Asagao Academy journey, and we just left off with Jared not being so nice to us. So let us see what happens. Finally, after what seemed like an agonizing amount of time, Mimi and Kakusu left. Jared stood waving to them even minutes after they went. Boy, knew he done messed up. I waited patiently until he sat back down on the blanket. Class would be starting soon, but I was so upset I didn't even care. Jared clenched his fist in his lap. Hana, why did you do that? Do what? I glared at him. Lie to them. Well, it's not as though I lied to them. I loved watching Phoenix Ball X as a kid. As a kid, I don't watch anime anymore because it's weeb shit. Look, that's not what I meant to say. Really? Then what did you mean to say, and why didn't you say it? You're being awfully demanding right now, Hana. What? You should calm down. I just said something wrong. It's not like I did anything wrong. It's not about what you said. It's about what you meant when you said it. You said it was about what I said, and I didn't mean to say it, so... You still said it, though! Hana, calm down. You're being completely unreasonable. I shut my mouth, so livid I no longer had the capability to express it physically. Instead, I felt eerily calm, except for the steady pounding of my heart. I'm done talking with you. I stood and grabbed my bag, headed for the classroom. Hana, really? I ignored him and kept walking. I wouldn't have been able to talk with him in that moment, even if I wanted to. I made it to class just before the bell rang and slung my backpack onto its hook. Mai must have seen the look on my face because the cheery greeting she usually gave me died on her lips at the sight of me. I sat there fuming for the entirety of class. My mind kept running over and over what he said. Why didn't I see him even back? Why didn't I get up and leave right then? What if I was really overreacting? And more importantly, why was Jared like this? Was it even worth dating him? The next morning crawled slowly by, though I went through my normal morning routine, shower, brushing teeth, changing clothes, doing my hair, as Mai looked on. Are you feeling okay? Yes, I'm fine. It was the 6th time she had asked since the incident, but I really just didn't want to talk about it. My seething anger had since died. Now that I could look at the situation in the relatively cold light of the new day, I didn't even know how I felt about what really happened. I knew Jared didn't want people seeing that other side of him, but I never never thought he was the kind of person who would throw someone else under the bus, especially someone he claimed to care about. That was what was really bothering me. Mai kept murmuring comforting platitudes that no one remembering things like this when they were on their deathbeds, but I wasn't worried about the embarrassment. The longer I dated Jared, the more I felt like I didn't know him at all. I catch glimpses of one Jared, but just when I thought that I had him figured out, he'd do something to knock me out completely off kilter. If I didn't know who he was, how could I say I liked him? Or was it my duty as a girlfriend to accept all of him, even when he was being a jerk? I wanted to stay mad. I wanted to hold it against him. I wanted to make sure he would never repeat something like that again. But I also wanted to make up with him and to never see him at the same time. How could that be? Ugh. Is this how relationships are for everyone? They're awful. Why does anyone date anyone ever? My heart jumped into my throat. I recognized that knock. Were you expecting someone? No. Mai stood watching me for a moment. I turned to my backpack and began shuffling through my papers, pretending to look for something. Finally, Mai answered the door. Hey, Mai, is Hana there? It's rather early, don't you think? It is. Sorry. I just wanted to talk to her about something. You better. Mai looked at me over her shoulder, a question on her face. Do you want me to tell him to shove off? I'll be there in a second. Could you wait outside while she finishes getting ready? Sure. Mai tiptoed back over to me and leaned down to my ear. The doors were really thin, and she clearly did not want to be heard. What's he doing here? I don't know. Don't ask me. Are you sure you still want to go with him? He was a total asshat yesterday. I slipped my bag over my shoulder. I at least want to hear him out, I think. Okay. Well, I'll see you in a little bit anyways. You come tell me what happened afterwards, alright? Don't be afraid to kick ass. He totally deserved it. I smiled weakly at her. Yes, ma'am. I closed the door behind me, not bothering to look at Jared. To be honest, I didn't know whether I was supposed to be mad or happy, so I figured it was best to put off the decision until he revealed what he really came for. My poker face was terrible. Hana, do you want to walk to class together? I want to talk to you. I nodded, still avoiding his eyes, and we headed down the hallway together. The few scattered girls who were running to and from the bathroom shot us wide-eyed looks. I didn't know whether they knew what happened yesterday, but regardless, it was an extreme rarity to see a boy in the hall period, let alone a boy first thing in the morning, let alone Jared. We stepped out into the crisp morning air with happy sighs. It thankfully wasn't humid today. The sunlight poured into the lawn, flickering slightly as clouds flew across its surface. There was silence for a moment as we both wondered what to do next. Trees rustled in the distance. It was almost sounded like a storm was coming. Hana, I'm so sorry. Startled, I finally looked at him. His face was pained, almost like he wanted to cry. I'm the worst type of person there is. I can't tell you how much I regretted what I said right after I said it. I wish I did something different. And then you left. I was too ashamed to go see you and apologize, but you deserve an apology. Not that it makes up for what I did, but I'm just... He heaved a sigh. Before me, the confident and assured Jared crumpled like a bag of chips. I'm really bad at making friends. And dating, I guess. I don't want people to get too close. I want to be perfect for you, for everyone, but I'm not perfect, and I know that. I know it's unreasonable, but that doesn't stop me from wanting it. But I'm terrified if someone finds out and I'm not perfect, they'll just give up on me. It sounds really stupid, and it sounds like something I should be able to get over because it doesn't make logical sense. I've got people who care about me, I've got people who know that I'm not everything I appear to be, and they're still with me. But still, when it comes right down to it, even with someone I care about, like you, He stopped and stared down at his shoes. I'm sorry. He ran through his hair and laughed. That didn't even make any sense, did it? No, it did. I didn't know what to say. It was kind of a hard thing to process. This Jared was being stupid, but just pointing out that his thinking was incorrect wasn't going to help him. And he did do something completely out of line with me. Was I supposed to forgive him, or was I supposed to continue being angry to stand up for myself? Which was the right decision? I wanted to forgive him, but I didn't want to be a doormat. Jared seems like he's going through a bit of a rough patch. So I think I'm gonna forgive him. It's okay, at least I understand. We all make mistakes sometimes, and we're not perfect. I shot him a grin and he offered a weak smile in return. But you know, regardless of what other people think, I like you for who you are. I think before we started dating, I had this image of you that wasn't complete. It was a facade. But now I feel like I know you better. To be honest, that makes me really happy. I know you don't want people to find these things out about you, but the D&D, the card games, these are really things I like about you. Way more than your perfect image. I like the way you are. I wish I could see more of that. You don't ever have to be afraid of being yourself with me. Hana, In one split movement, I was swept into a hug. Jared. Thank you, Hana. Jared, people are going to see. He released me and took a step back. Right, you'd only PDA. Sorry. I didn't mind this time. I stared down at my fidgeting hands. Jared was glowing with happiness. Come on, let's get you to class. He dropped me off at the classroom and waved goodbye. Once inside, Mai nearly ran me over. What happened? Are you okay? Yeah, everything should be fine now. He apologized to me and seemed to really regret it. Mai nodded, but still looked somewhat put off. Is something wrong? No. I mean, he apologized after all. But the odd look remained on her face as we headed to our seats. Tell me what's up, Mai. Don't lie. Okay, don't get mad at me, alright? I tend to look at people's actions to see what kind of people they are. And that Jared did this to you right off the bat, right after you started dating. It worries me. I don't think he's a bad guy, but still, he did throw you under the bus. I'm just saying. But if he really doesn't do it again, then there's nothing to worry about. People can make mistakes. What's important is that he follows through on his words. Yeah. After our conversation, I trusted Jared, though he would follow through, even if Mai didn't. Mai was really a stickler when it came to guys in relationship, wasn't she? The rest of the class filtered in, and I watched Mai gazing out the window. One question pounded through my head. Why? I was sitting at my desk one afternoon when Mai and PBG came bursting through the door. Hana, I have a surprise. PBG shut the door behind them and Mai lowered her voice. Hannah, we snuck some beer into the school. Want to drink with us? I looked up from my work and finally noticed that she and PBG had tiny brown cans in their hands. It looked like something that came from a vending machine. In Japan, it was fairly easy to come across alcohol if you really wanted it. Most people looked the other way at underage drinking so long as you didn't cause a fuss. That being said, I'd never had anything to drink before, and I didn't think Asagao would be so lax about it. There was a stipulation in my scholarship that said if I were to be caught consuming alcohol, my scholarship would be given up. If that happened, there was absolutely no way I could keep on going here, even with my father spending almost all of his money on me. It would be reckless and selfish for me to do that, even if I wanted to. No, that's okay. Okay, but you don't mind if we do, right? My old friends like to drink, so you can go ahead. I'm used to it. As probably could have been expected, my tolerance was actually quite high, and being so experienced, neither drank enough to have too much of an effect. Instead, they played board games, just slightly louder than usual. Ugh. You took my monster out of Tokyo! Yeah, I did, because he's dead now. Just slightly. As Jared's fashion show grew closer, he became more and more antsy. We were already rocky enough as it was, although he had apologized. I still felt hurt. I was trying to convince myself he hadn't meant it, or they had learned from it, but my suspicions were ingrained in my head. Maybe he was the most important to himself, after all. They did say that attractive people were more self-centered. But I felt bad for even these thoughts. After all, he was my boyfriend. I should support him. No, wait. I should support him because I cared about him, right?
Hey, what's up?
You okay, Hannah? You look kind of bummed. No, I'm fine. Sorry. Mai stared at me, obviously not believing me. Instead, I turned my attention to the conversation in front of us. Only a few weeks left, so we gotta utilize that time wisely. That's plenty of time. I think you're taking this a little too seriously. If we don't practice, Hidden Block will end up winning. Do you want that? The group cast a glance across the cafeteria. The Hidden Block Club were competing to see who could most effectively balance a tray on a chopstick, all except for Ian, who was watching with a tiny smile on his face. An extra practice period couldn't hurt. They agreed to have an extra practice at some point in the near future, and I finished my spaghetti, absolutely positive that some point would never come. I was headed back to Poppy Hall with Mai grilling me about what was wrong, and I was about to cave and expel all of my doubts when a piercing scream hit the air. I can't believe they asked Jared to record that, and he was just like, okay. Like, he had to know that they were going to use that for something. Oh, I love Jared's screams. They make me happy. No! Mai and I turned. Birds were scattering off in the distance from the direction of the field. Did you hear that? Should we go look? Yes, we should go look. We ran to the field with everything in our bodies, passing other students who had evidently had the same idea. When we got to the field, we found it completely empty. No dead bodies, no raging fire, no alien robots taking over. Lame. Agreed. Waleed evidently ran here with everyone else and was glaring across the field. But I swear there was a noise from here. All these people didn't hallucinate a scream at the same time. Unless you want to stay and search and risk being late for class. No. I can't afford a tardy or there will be from the next volleyball match. What? You should get going then. Mai checked the time and gasped. Shit! Hana, I'm going ahead of you. She sprinted off down the way, minor clouds of dust in her wake. Waleed turned to me. I'm heading off too. Coming this way? Sure. We set off down the way together. Waleed cleared his throat nervously. So, Hana, I hear you're dating Jared. I flushed immediately. This was not something I wanted to talk about. Yeah. He's been practicing a lot for the tournament? The tournament? I guess so. What was Jared doing for the tournament again? Annie told me once. He was competing directly against someone in Hidden Block on some kind of physical skill, right? Something Jared would be good at. Something Jared wouldn't mind showing off with. Dancing! Dancing, right. That's a specialization. A sudden thought occurred to me. Waleed, what's your event this year? Waleed didn't answer. Instead, a sly smile crept across his face. I stopped in my tracks. You're trying to milk me for answers. Was it obvious? You jerk. Gosh, get out of here. I'm sorry. He trotted off down the path while I fumed behind him, trying to remember what I said. I didn't give Jared away, did I? Should I have said he wasn't practicing? Would Waleed practice more now? Man, good going, Hana. I sighed. Psst. Psst, Hana. Who? A hand tugged at the back of my collar and I was pulled into the bushes. What? A hand wrapped itself over my mouth and someone whispered to me, "Please be quiet. I can't let anyone see me like this." That voice sounded familiar. I ceased my struggling. When Waleed was out of sight, I was released. I turned around and found, well, Jared. Hana, it's awful. My face, my beautiful face. I should have never bothered to come here in the first place. What happened? Are you allergic to something? Bees happened, Hana. Bees. Those demon bugs sought me as their valiant nemesis, and I, peace-loving Jared, wanted only some pretty flowers to brighten my sorrowful maiden's day. He held up a small bundle of pink flowers, and I gently took them. But now my face, it's swollen, and I can't even bear to look at it. The fashion show is tomorrow. How am I supposed to go like this? I've been preparing for it all year. Jared, I'm so sorry. I felt guilty, even though it technically wasn't my fault. But if he hadn't been up there gathering flowers for me, he wouldn't have gotten stung. It was still partially my fault, wasn't it? What are you going to do now? I can't go out like this. I can't, Hana. That's it. That's it. I'm ruined. He threw his hands up in the air and then collapsed in a heap on the ground. Jared. He sat there silently, head in his hands. I wish there was something I could do to help. Wait! He shot up again, a finger raised triumphantly into the air.
All right.
There is something you can do. Take my place in the show.
What?
What?
You're perfect.
Take my place in the show, Hana. I know you can do it. You're so beautiful. You'd be perfect. I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner.
Jared, I'm not a model.
I know, but you could be. There was no way that was true. Absolutely no way. Do you not think you're beautiful?
Not really.
What?
What? But how could you look in the mirror and not see it? He put a finger to his lumpy chin, stroking it thoughtfully. Is this what being a woman is like? I wanted to say, no. Rather, I think it's what being normal is like. But you'll help me, won't you, Hana? I paused, conflict shredding my stomach. Modeling at a fashion show sounded like the absolute antithesis of anything I ever wanted to do. Putting myself in the spotlight for people to critique my body and my face, my hair? Even if Jared sincerely thought I was beautiful, I doubted anyone else would. But I looked at Jared's distraught, sincere, bloated face. He was truly upset, and I could help him like this. Even if I didn't want to do it, at least for Jared.
I guess I could at least try it.
Hana. He grabbed my hands in his and held them up to his face, kissing them repeatedly. Oh, Hana, my savior, my flower, how did I ever become worthy of such an angel? There it was again, that weird grandiose talk.
Yeah, great.
Go to the theater an hour early tomorrow, and everything will be fine. I'll be right in the front row supporting you, so don't worry. Oh, and Hana?
Yeah?
He looked at me, eyes shining, but shook his head. Never mind. You should get to class, or you'll be late.
Right, I'll be going then.
Be safe. I waved and dashed across the field, hoping I would make it in time. I didn't. Miss Shizuka berated me in front of the entire class, but to be honest, I was so nervous about what just happened that it hardly touched me. I was going to be in a fashion show, in front of the entire school, in front of everyone. And why did it matter so much to Jared? Did he really care, or was he trying to save his image? I wasn't the type to do this kind of thing. I really wasn't. But I would just have to deal and go through with it. I accepted it after all, and I wanted to help Jared. Even if I personally thought everything he did to save his image was stupid, it still mattered to him. He was in genuine distress. If this made him feel better, then even if I was terrified. There was no way. No way. Just no way. What was I going to do? And that's where we're going to end this episode of Asagao Academy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please leave a like, comment, please leave a like, comment down below. And I will see you in the next video. I was about to tell you that the next video was going to be on Moon's channel. It's really not. This is going to be on my channel on Thursday. So, I'll see you guys whenever I see you. Bye!